it through 3 hours of the regular show on terrestrial radio, and you wanted a little bit more, so that's why you found the Gun Talk After Show podcast, where we saved all the best things that we can't say on regular radio. Now here's Tom, Michelle, and Jim for the Gun Talk After Show.
It's the after show where we gather together to, well, do things we couldn't do otherwise. Like talk about where Jim just was. Jim, where were you?
I was in the men's room, Tom.
And there was an incident. Which cannot be shared, not even on the after show.
Right, and the best way to sum it up is let's go to line 3. We have Alex in Dallas, Texas. Hi, Alex.
Technical issues. Hey, Alex.
I'm glad my introduction was, I just came from the bathroom. I'm building an AR-15. I've already got the lower all built out, and I have a 30 cal suppressor that I want to put on it, and I'd like y'all's opinion on a 300 blackout upper. It can be pistol length or rifle length, doesn't matter, but as far as barrel length, twist rates, anything and everything, I'm trying to go for a lightweight build because the suppressor is pretty heavy out there in the front.
Now, I guess the question is, are you going to run it as a pistol, or are you going to run it as a rifle? And if you want it with a shoulder stock on it, would you consider going to an SBR?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So it is going to be an SBR. Okay.
Eventually, yeah. But right now it's a pistol.
Okay. And so you're up on how to do the SBR, the Form 1, and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. All right. So what is our question today?
Manufacturers, barrel lengths, twist rates, anything and everything about the upper. What would you recommend?
Well, barrel length is going to be just an issue of, I think a 10-inch barrel is probably about the sweet spot on a 300 blackout. As they get shorter and shorter, you can end up with complications in terms of reliability. But generally, you can get 10-inch barrels to run all day long in a 300 blackout. That's... And I guess at that point, then, if we're going to go, I'm kind of working this out in my head here. Okay, if the idea is for it to be suppressed, and the idea is for it to be silent or close to it, subsonic at least, then we're going with heavier bullets or longer bullets. You know what? I would honestly, since I have not built a 300 blackout, although that it's on my short list of things to do, since I bought a bunch of lowers in anticipation of the election, like everybody else, right? So I got to do that. So I'm going to be learning as I go. I would just do a little poking around, Googling or whatever, to what twist rate for a 190 to 200 plus grain bullet. Michelle, do you have any twist rate thoughts?
No, I don't. I don't have much experience at all, especially on that caliber, but nothing with the AR pistol format. Yeah,
and it's basically 300 blackout with the heavier bullets, which is you got to go heavier bullets to slow them down enough. Now, do you have a 300 blackout now, Alex?
I don't. I have a 223 AR.
Okay, and so what made you go to the blackout?
Number one, I was going to suppress it. Number two, I want it for hog hunting, so I want a little heavier bullet for that too.
Okay. I'm going to throw out an idea for you here. That some people will tell you that the heavier bullets, fully subsonic bullets, that's not the best loads for hogs. People are getting really good performance out of I think it's a 110 grain bullet. The Barnes Bullet Company, their 110 grain bullet is just awesome. It's definitely not subsonic, but they're killing deer and hogs out to 300 yards with that thing. And the heavy bullet blackout loads, you're pushing 100, 150 yards is about all you can hope for.
Okay.
But I think if you'll just do a little bit of looking around, you can figure out what's the best twist rate. I'm just looking now. It seems like about a 1 in 8 is kind of the standard and probably what people are going with. But, I would say a 10-inch barrel, probably 1 in 8. And you say you already have your suppressor?
I do, yeah.
What'd you get? What brand suppressor?
It's an AAC 762 SDN6.
Nice. Okay, that'll work.
I love it.
Okay. Yeah, I know. All right, well, have fun. I hope it works out for you. That's on my short list. Thanks, sir. Yeah, guys, I really want to build a 300 blackout, having shot one again yesterday, and they are so just fun. They're just quiet, and we're shooting them without wearing any hearing protection.
Wow.
That's cool,
And twist rate's not a big deal? because they're going slower?
It can be, but what you want to do is get a twist rate that is fast enough. Okay, let me back up. As a bullet gets heavier, it gets longer because, of course, the diameter can't get any bigger, so it has to get longer. The longer the bullet, faster the twist rate you need.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
To some extent, you can't really, and then this is not literally true, but you can't really over-rotate the bullet. So if you get a twist rate that will work for the heavier bullets, it will work just fine with the lighter bullets. Now, that would not be true if you're trying for the ultimate in accuracy. Then, you get a twist rate that's perfect for the weight bullet. But generally speaking, like with ARs, when you're shooting 223s, the problem there is that originally you had like a 1 in 10, 1 in 12 twist rates, and that worked great for 55-grain bullets. But when we started loading heavier bullets up to 77 and longer, it wouldn't stabilize them, and they would actually tumble. So it'd start to keyhole, go end over end, and not conducive to accuracy.
So you jump to
so
like a 1 to 7.
We had to go to 1 in 7, 1 in 8 twist rate. Yeah,
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Okay. See, I always learn something on this show. I get paid to learn stuff. How cool.
Me too. I just make this stuff up, and then I say, wow, I didn't know that.
He's the authority. I buy into it. Yeah, it's great.
Now, do you have to worry about burnout on those barrels, Tom?
Yeah, at a certain point, you can burn out any barrel. What's the number? I don't know. Probably somewhere between, for that caliber, 3,000 to 6,000 rounds. Okay. Well, that's it. How do you know when it's burned out?
Yeah, is it? I mean, what does burn out? Is it the lands and grooves just kind of meld together?
What happens is, right, where the chamber is, where the cartridge sits in the barrel, that's the chamber. The part directly in front of the chamber, actually it's the transition. Think of it as the transition from the chamber to the barrel, the rifling itself is called the throat.
Right.
And that's where it is a larger part. It's a little bit bigger diameter. It's where the bullet sits, and then it jumps in and hits the rifling. As you shoot the rifle, the hot gases erode the throat. They actually wash it out. It's weird, but think of it as just eroding the throat like something abrasive. And the throat goes forward, and now the bullet has to jump farther before it hits the rifling. And eventually you start to see a little bit of a drop-off in accuracy, and then maybe a little bit more. Now, in some guns, you'd never get there. I mean, who's going to shoot a 30-30 that much?
Right.
Also, if it's a deer rifle and it started off shooting a half-inch and it goes to 3/4 of an inch or an inch, you may not care. But if it's a target gun, if it starts to give up accuracy, you go, okay, this barrel is shot out. So a target gun, you may say, well, it was shot out in 2,000 rounds, but it would have been just fine for a deer hunter going all the way to 5,000 rounds.
Gotcha. So throat is actually technically part of the barrel. It's just pre-rifling.
The throat is the part of the barrel, basically, that leads from the chamber to the rifling.
The transitional funnel.
Transitional funnel. I like this. It's the TF part of the barrel, yes. And, of course, the beauty of the AR platform, as opposed to bolt-action guns, is you just get a new barrel and slap it in there and keep on going.
Right.
You don't have to go take it to a gunsmith and get it rebarreled and all that foolishness. You just do it.
I like tinkering.
It's just, an AR is just a collection of parts anyway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of like a little erector
stuck
set.
Them together.
Yeah.
It really is. Oh, for those of us who are old enough to know what an erector set was.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Gee, what are those?
Think of it, it's Legos.
Yeah.
It's the Lego gun. That's what it is.
Till you step on it.
So, as you guys were listening to Mark Garney talk about that new GP100 and 44 Special, any thoughts?
We've had them into the store, so we actually have gotten one in and sold it in no time. And I know, waiting for more. But
well, nanny, boo-boo, bought you
people,
something special.
People are excited. But, they have had in the past, like the little Alaskan and the 44 mag, and I think this just gives the ability to have, obviously, a lighter weight bullet and ammunition. It probably just changes the tactile abilities of a pistol, too. The different grip, and the GP100's an awesome frame. So, I don't think you can go wrong. Sometimes with those Blackhawks, at least for me, it's difficult with the placement of the grip and the trigger guard to
Right.
get the hold and the feel that I want on that pistol. So I think the GP100 crosses that a little bit more.
I think you're right. I think a Blackhawk, the single action Super Blackhawks, probably might be more difficult for somebody with real small hands to use, too.
Mm-hmm. It's nice because being in that single action, it's a lightweight trigger, but you compensate one thing for the other, of course. But
yeah, exactly.
But no, those are exciting pistols, and of course that new 357 that they have coming out that people are eagerly anticipating its arrival too. I think it's an 8-shot pistol.
Oh, that's right. They're doing an 8-shot 357. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's got to be pretty girthy.
I think that's in the Red.
That's in the Red Hawk, yes.
Yeah.
You have to have a cylinder that big for that. But that's pretty cool. That's your high cap revolver is what that is.
Yeah.
That's right. Matches your 686. So you get one of each on each.
There you go.
Exactly.
686 on one side and your Red Hawk or GP100 on the other.
Of course, in the Smith, they've got the X-frame is the one that the 500 is on.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
There was talk back when the government was making noises about a 10-round limit on magazines. They said, that's only on magazines. We wonder how many 22 rimfire holes we could bore in that cylinder.
You have two stages,
you could
actually.
get 15 to 16 in there. I mean, that would be crazy.
Well, we went from 6 to 10 to 11. Yeah, why not 15?
'Cause I do have a 10-shot 22 revolver.
Right.
Smith 617. And way back, who the heck was it? Wait a minute. H&R. Didn't they have a 9 or 10-shot revolver way back? I think it was a top break.
Well, Ruger had one, too. Didn't they had that single 9?
I don't remember that.
No, I'm pretty sure it was.
Single 9.
Wow, you must be way older than Tom, Michelle.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe we're going into territory that I'm making up in my head.
No. There's glass between
what
us.
happens is, at a certain point, we get so old, we're not remembering stuff. We're just making it up.
But we remember that we made it up, so that's good.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that clearly. Yeah, well, no one else does, dude. I'm just telling you. Okay, go for that one. Woo.
Oh. Well, I think it's fun that you've crossed over to the revolver side. There's new excitement there.
Oh, listen to this. He's got another convert here.
No, because everybody focuses a lot and you forget how fun those revolvers are. So even if it's a 22, they're just fun. Teaching young kids on a single action or double action even pistol, where it's not a lot of trigger pull and still good control because there's some weight with the pistol is just an awesome way to get somebody into it. So they're fun. I
have a picture of Ryan. He was probably 7 or so, shooting the Ruger single 6 22. And remember they made that you could get 2 cylinders for it, a 22 Magnum and a 22 long rifle? I remember that. Yeah.
You designed it, didn't you?
Yeah.
No. Yes. Where's my check?
Yeah. Check, please. A single 6. You could get 2 cylinders for it, and that was cool. You could shoot 22 Magnum in there. And I tell you, the single action is a really cool thing to start youngsters with, because once it goes bang, they can't pull the trigger again. You got to cock it. You got to go through the process.
I thought of that.
There's a little, it's kind of a forced safety thing, if you will. Yeah. It's kind of like why I like pump shotguns for youngsters, or when you start them out with a semi-auto, just give them one shell at a time. Right. Control it more.
Plus teach them how to load mags and how to chamber. And it's super little.
Just, exactly. So what have you guys been shooting or doing this week?
Oh, I guess just a little bit of everything. We did some black powder shooting this morning. Did a little bit of training with a 1911 380 that we've been messing around with for the last month and a half here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Talk about that,
like that?
Yeah. So I have a Kimber Raptor 380, which I love. We talked several shows ago with Michelle Serino, but I like the Raptor because it's aggressive texturing.
Stippling, yeah.
Yes. And I don't know, to me it's a really good feel. And I really, really, really tried hard to love a PPKS, but it just wasn't right for me. It's just, the recoil just was not comfortable at all on that gun. Mm-hmm. So in trying the SIGs, love the SIG P238. And,
right.
this,
gun.
this Raptor is just slightly bigger. Plus, you can get that
Right.
little extended mag on there. And, I'm in love with that little pistol. It's a nice little
You should
pistol.
see her glow, Tom. She's glowing.
So,
All right, let's take I want to do this. Let's take a quick break, and I'm going to come back, and I want to talk about why do we buy small pistols and then add stuff to them, like extended mags, and make them bigger.
right?
Be right back.
Get the fastest semi-automatic trigger for your AR rifle with Franklin Armory's BFS trigger. The binary firing system offers a 3-position selector for binary, semi, and safe modes. In binary mode, your AR fires 1 round on pull and 1 round on release. Works in any AR, is easy to install, no paperwork needed. 100% U.S. made, patent pending. The BFS trigger from Franklin Armory. At a dealer near you or at franklinarmory.com.
When we last left this, Michelle was describing the Kimber Raptor, and then I noticed you said then you put an extended mag in it. Doesn't that make the gun bigger?
Just slightly. It really doesn't add a whole lot to it. It's just one little pinky groove. And honestly, it came with just the flat magazine, which is the way I had intended to be able to carry it. And then there was one on the showroom floor, and I thought, well, try it and see if it really makes a difference as far as carrying. And
More like steal the mag out of that one. Put it in your gun.
yeah, no. No, it was in its packaging. I had to buy it just like anyone else.
All right.
Hey.
But
But it feels good, doesn't it?
it does feel good, and it really doesn't, because I was concerned the same way. And you're right, Tom. People have these Glock 26s. They buy the 26 because it's small, and then you add a pierce grip onto the bottom of it, and then you put a rubber grip around it to help get some of that recoil out of the hand too. So yeah, you make them bulkier, you make them longer, and it defeats the purpose. But it didn't find that this really changed the size a whole lot. It just changed the feel of control,
You got more control
on the
yeah.
gun.
Well, the other thing too is it's you're adding in length. It's not like going from single stack to double stack, and you gain all the girth, and it's
Right.
Yeah, it's
Right.
It's not much, and and I will say that especially on those short grips, having a finger extension really makes it feel like it's quite a bit bigger to have a place to put that pinky out there instead of hanging out in the air.
Right. And I can shoot it just fine without it. And that is the way that I had used the gun for quite a while. So it's not a problem for me to have it either with or without a extended grip. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just, I love the looks of it. It was just, I guess a baby brother to the Raptor 45, which I love too. So it's a matched pair. It works well.
There aren't really a lot of guns that you don't like, are there?
It's really hard, isn't it? I mean, we live in a great time where there's constantly something being introduced, almost too much. Honestly, it's almost overwhelming to pick and choose. So you really have to get out there and shoot them and try them and feel them, and I say it can feel great in the showroom floor, but when you take it out and you try it, you're like, oh, I hate that gun. Well, that's that test drive.
and that's what I love about your place, because you can rent a bunch of different ones.
Right. And that's becoming more and more popular across the nation. So get out there, get to the ranges, test drive, so to speak, that gun and make sure it feels good, because I could put my gun in Jim's hand, even though he's a bigger guy, and he could hate it. It's too small, or he doesn't like the recoil, or it doesn't perform the same way. And, I guess that's one of those things, too, especially with revolvers. You talk about point of aim, point of impact. There can be a big difference with the ammunitions and the pistols and who's holding it.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, when we were shooting yesterday, I had my revolver pretty much dialed in for me, and then Dan, my buddy, shot it, and it didn't shoot to the same place for him. I don't know if it's the way we're holding it. I'm thinking that sometimes it's just the way different people see the sights. One person likes a little bit more front sight, a little higher in the notch, or, the other thing is, and people, if you're a target shooter, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes where the light is coming from, where the sun is, will make you shoot left or right, because it's hitting the side of your sights, and what looks like you're centering up the front blade in the rear notch, you're not really, because one side of it is kind of illuminated and throws you off.
Wow.
Yeah, you've got that shadow. So the really early morning or the really late evening shooting, it can be affected either way.
So I thought the difference.
Michelle knows what I'm talking about, but, target shooters, they have a little can of, I don't know what's burning there, but it's a little smoky fire going, just a little flame, and they will smoke their sights, put a little smoky soot on the sights to make them flat black.
Hey, dude.
No,
smoke some sights, dude.
That's a different thing altogether. You musician guys know all about that.
First one's free, dude.
They also make a little can of sprays called Sight Black.
Just
Birchwood
like a
Casey
mat,
has that
just to
out
take
there.
the glaze off?
It's a mat.
Yeah, you could do that.
It's not
I
the
use
same.
flat black. I use Krylon. I really like that. The flat black is just the thing. It's just, but the guy next to me never likes it very much when I'm spraying it in his direction. So
Downwind, yeah.
That's right. Oh, man. Well, let's see. We did have the news this week of the Senate passing the bill to basically repeal the Obama ruling on the Social Security Administration. While that was great, and we knew that was coming, what was really interesting, and frankly it was still frustrating, was watching the media reports of them saying, oh, great, we're going to put guns into the hands of mentally incompetent people. You're going, that's not what it is.
And I tell you what, I had an argument with a guy 2 nights ago about this, and he's pro-gun, but he's heavy on the Democrat side, and I wasn't able to beat that out of him. But he, the way he presented to me is, I can't believe what you guys passed now. You're gonna let these, or they want to put guns in crazy hands. Figures you Republicans would want crazy people to have guns. Like, all right, let's back up to reality here. Take it from what's really going down versus the way the picture's been painted to you. I mean, because I don't know anybody that wants crazy people to have access to firearm on either side.
And we have, that's already in the law and been there for a while. I did like the way that Chris Cox at the NRA-ILA put it. He said, look, this is just a matter of due process. Everybody on both sides of the aisle, Democrat or Republican, thinks you ought to have due process. And right now what's happening at the Social Security Administration, you don't have due process. This puts that back into the whole deal of, if somebody says you are mentally incompetent, then go to court where you can defend yourself and have a judge make that ruling. And that's the way it's supposed to be, not just some bureaucrat that, as we heard last week, Mary Wall, somebody puts a check, on her form. Right. It wasn't supposed to be there, and all of a sudden she's on the can't own a gun list.
Right, but see, the truth isn't exciting, sellable news, Tom.
All right, so this morning I'm watching Face the Nation, Meet the Press, one of those, and Wright Priebus is head of the Republican Party, and he's being interviewed by John Dickerson, and Priebus is just barbecuing this guy, and he's saying, you guys are just, way out there, talking about the media. And Dickerson said, well, the president said the media is the enemy. And of course, he's wanting to make the media the focus of it because they are very, self-centered. And Priebus is just saying, you are stating these stories out there. You're not quoting anybody. You're just saying basically anonymous sources. And then Dickerson would come back and say, well, so what would you say to those people who say blah, blah? He said, well, wait a minute. He says, who are those people? Do you have a name for me? And do you have a specific thing that they said? You're wanting me to give you a specific answer to a vague accusation made by somebody who you can't identify. I'm not going to do that.
Ooh, nice.
And the media, they're not getting that we, the public, understand what they are doing, and we're not buying into it. We don't like them. We don't trust them. And, by the way, they are not the fourth branch of government like they think they are. The fourth estate they are. They like to treat themselves as, well, you have to talk to us as though, we're a part of the government. No, actually, we could just tell you to buzz off.
Well, that's kind of the reason that Trump relies so heavily on Twitter, because he can get the news out, is it his version of the news? Certainly, but it's from the horse's mouth at least, versus somebody's interpretation.
At least he can get directly out what he wants to say without them saying what he said, but spinning it the whole time. So now they're talking about what he actually said because he can deliver the message directly to us. So at least he can get that done. But this stuff like this coverage, I hate to use the word coverage, on the Social Security Administration and their gun ban, it's just dishonest. It's not that they don't know because they do know the difference. It's just dishonest, and I'm hopeful. Here's a question. Do you think, well, from what you're telling me with your buddy, not all gun owners know that it's dishonest?
Oh, sure, because I think a lot of them just, and I'm not defending Fox by any means, because I think they throw some stuff out there that's pretty inaccurate as well. But on either side, you're not getting accurate info, but you automatically demonize the other side. So by part of demonizing the other side is you really got to double down on your team. So they buy into Fox, and the other guys buy into MSNBC, et cetera. And nobody's really listening to each other or comparing or doing any kind of fact checking. And then somebody will cite, well, on Snopes it said, like you're citing Snopes as a reliable source of vetting.
No.
I mean, you got to be kidding.
In fact, I got a fake news alert that I put out this week on Twitter. For those who don't know, I'm at Gun Talk on Twitter. There's a story making the rounds out there, and it looks totally legit, of I think it was a former Marine sniper who his neighbor was getting a home invasion, and this guy's a sniper, and he shot the guys in the home invasion from across the street. And I read that. Somebody sent it to me. I read that and thought, that does not sound right. So I clicked on it, and it was a place called the Seattle Tribune. There's no such paper. So I dig a little bit further, and it's a totally made-up fake story on a fake news site, but people on our side are sending this around, forwarding it, putting it on their Facebook pages and all. I go, well, guys, you need to dig down and say, okay, where did this come from? And fortunately, we can do that now, can't we?
Yeah, well, you know what? That brings up a point, actually. I mean, back in the day, journalism, they had to be responsible, and they had slander and libel lawsuits when they weren't. Whatever happened to that? Why? Because they have fake news, and then maybe they print out apologies saying our source gave us the wrong info. We're really sorry. They never man up and say, "Yeah, we outright bold-faced lied to you, and we got busted." There's just there's no repercussion.
Yeah, you're right. They're exactly right about that. Now, it's hard to get a slander or a libel suit to go anywhere, but in this case, they're not actually slandering or libel an individual. They're just not telling the truth about the story.
So fraud.
And there's no one who gets hurt on that. I mean, there's no fraud involved in reporting or journalism. No, you just say it. Look, William Randolph Hearst did it long before even there was television, and he actually started wars because it would sell more newspapers. So this goes way back.
Sad take.
But you know what? Back then, we didn't have the ability to drill down and say, okay, Where's the source? Where did this come from? I'm going to Google this. I'm going to use DuckDuckGo. I'm going to use my search engines. And I'm going to go down 2 or 3 or 4 points further on the whole deal and say, oh, yeah, no, you made all that up. That's not true. Now we can actually go to the source, which you could not do when you had to depend upon the newspapers to bring you the news.
That all takes time.
Yeah, in this instant society.
That's going to cut into me watching Jersey Shore or whatever,
Real Housewives of Atlanta. Real mind-growing stuff.
Well, the media has to make it appear as if nothing is being done. I mean, the mainstream media was not obviously pro-Trump.
Really?
Therefore, they use this, the White House is in turmoil every single day and report everything that is awful. But if you want to know if anything is happening, you have to go somewhere else. But that's not your common channels. That's not your common, search engines or whatever, just like you were saying. So it's not, you have to be diligent on both sides. If you're going to have an awesome rebuttal or argument, you have to have all your information correct as well.
You know where I've been going for news, and I think they're doing a really good job, is because I think Fox has become so entertainment-oriented. Their idea of covering a story is to get 2 people, one from each side, and let them scream at each other and just yell for 5 minutes.
Right.
That goes nowhere.
Yes, it does. Yes,
no, it doesn't. No.
I knew I could count on you. Try Fox Business.
Fox Business News. Okay.
The Fox Business Channel has really good news on it, and you don't have all of that just yelling back and forth at each other. That's it. At least for the moment. At some point, some producer will say, we can increase the viewership if we can have mud wrestling on here, which is really what it amounts to. It's verbal mud wrestling.
It's kind of funny because I don't care to actually view the news on TV at all. I'd rather pull it up on my iPad and scroll through my information. So yeah. Okay,
well, now you've caught me because I don't actually watch Fox Business. I turn it on the Sirius radio when I'm in the car.
Yeah, well,
okay.
There you go.
So I use it as radio works very well that way. Then I don't have to watch whatever they're showing.
You mean you don't listen to reruns of Gun Talk all week long?
It's in my head. I cannot get rid of it.
Or the after show
all the
podcast.
time.
Yeah, I know he does. You know he does.
So, Jim, what is it that actually happened in the restroom here?
Oh,
That's what everybody
okay.
really
I gotta
wants
go.
to know.
I'll see everybody.
You don't want to know.
Okay.
But I'm happy to tell.
Wait, faulty equipment here. That's what we're talking
basically,
about.
in a nutshell, I had a toilet seat crack when I put my fat butt on it, and it pinched me. I couldn't get up. How's that for laying it out there, audience? You know you're going to get
Did you really
emails.
say laying it out there after all that?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Poor choice of words.
Well, I hope you recover, sir.
Thank you. You want to see this card?
And
I'll send you
No.
pics
And
of this card.
don't look. That's right. Don't look to us for any kind of help on this one. You're
Check
on
this
your
out,
own there,
Michelle. Look at
bucko.
this. Look at this through the glass, Michelle. Moon over Miami.
You know, it just always spirals out of control, doesn't it?
You asked the
You guys
question.
you can hold it together for like 5 minutes is about all I can hope for, and then it's just gone.
Very easily led astray.
Well, on the upside, we don't have a clock to worry about as much, so that we have these natural cues that just pop up and say, yeah, you're done. You drove it in the ground.
No, you were done some time ago.
We signed on.
He was done before he got into the room today.
No doubt.
I was done when I tried to get up off the...
He'd have been back a minute sooner, but he couldn't get
Well, I kept looking on the screen, and I'm saying, "Where's Jim?" Not there yet.
Hold that thought. He's not back yet. I hear him yelling, though.
I thought it was your wife.
So, speaking of that, and speaking of snakes,
What?
It's a nice segue.
what?
Smooth.
So, my one scary snake story. Let's see, have to be careful how you do this. I was deer hunting, had the call of nature, dropped my drawers, and looked between my legs, and there is a coiled up poisonous copperhead snake.
Yeah, but what's the odds?
currently-
What's the odds of him hitting a target that small, though? I mean,
I still have the world record for the standing broad jump.
did it accompany with a little girly man scream? Maybe. Do you have one of those with it?
Well, if it happens in the woods and there's no one there, then no one knows. Well, there you go. Just saying. Just saying. Okay.
Oh, my
and this is why we shoot every snake we see.
Oh,
No.
I am not a big
Actually,
snake
don't.
fan.
I kind of like snakes. The non-poisonous ones are kind of cool. It's weird. Even when I know they're non-poisonous, they still kind of give me the creeps a little bit. I mean, I don't want to kill them, but they just kind of give me the
They're
heebie-jeebies.
slithery and sneaky.
I'm not a big
They don't
snake
knock
fan.
before they come into your house.
Well, they don't have any knuckles.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Snakes I think that's probably a big one for most people. If there's a phobia.
Oh, I think so, yeah.
Or spiders, the same way.
I think it's the whole biblical serpent thing,
I'm not a big snake fan. I don't like Kirby vacuum salesmen, used car salesmen, none of them.
And there you go. So, which brings us back, I would hope, to revolvers and snake loads. And so I have some snake loads coming in for 38, 45, and 44 special. So we're going to be doing a little video piece on those
cool.
to see how well they would do. That would be kind of fun. But we have to go find some snakes. I think you can get those on Amazon, actually.
I think you can.
There's
You
some
should
in
just shoot rubber snakes. You could shoot them all day.
Yeah.
They make rubber worms for fishing. They probably make rubber snakes too, right?
Well, kids throw them at their parents all the time to freak them out.
You use them to put them up there to keep the birds away, right? Some places.
Yeah, no doubt.
Then you find one of the birds, flying away with your rubber snake. Oh man, that didn't work well.
You need something to wash that down, buddy.
Okay, well, anyway, I had a good revolver day yesterday, so that was tons of fun. And next week, we will be doing our broadcast with a test of new technological equipment. We'll be live from a log cabin in Idaho, maybe.
Oh.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. I hope it all works. We'll be connecting to the barbed wire fence.
So we
sending
doing
the signal out that way.
We doing live snake testing?
Yeah, on air.
Yeah.
Ooh,
There you go. Hold on.
I like the way you
Well,
think.
you could with that gear. You could walk around.
Yeah, I could. It's actually small enough I could walk around, do the broadcast, and shoot snakes.
Yeah.
Welcome to Snake
What's
Talk.
that? What's that holster on your left? It's my broadcast holster.
That's right. That's on the left side. On the right side, we have the revolver.
Snake load.
Now, here's the question. Which revolver am I going to take?
Which one are you going to take?
Both.
Well, I don't have a holster. I don't have a holster yet for the GP100.
Do you have your GP100?
No.
No, you don't have the
But
pistol.
I bought the other holster 2 months before I bought the revolver.
That's okay. Well, you got to be prepared. You buy the bed before the baby's born, so it all makes sense.
Well, I like that. Yeah. So I have a holster, and then eventually I'll get a gun for it. Right?
Yeah.
So that works out. I like that holster.
I've bought ammo for guns I don't have yet, so.
Oh, God, yes. Haven't we all? Oh, that looks like a good deal. I'll buy that. Yeah. And then you get home and wait. I don't have anything to shoot that in.
Yet. It's early.
Yet. That's right. But if you buy enough ammo, then that can be your own motivator. You can self-enable that way,
I like it. Activate self-enabling. Don't need
all right,
Gresham.
Michelle, I have an idea for your store.
Okay.
And I'm actually kind of almost serious about this.
Oh, boy. I'm half listening.
Well, alrighty then. Same as always. Okay. What if in your store they've got these really cool, like fast mag loaders for ARs? It's called the Uplula. I mean, you could just the things are expensive. They're like $400 or something, but just like shook, and you just load the whole mag like that. Here's what I'm thinking: you sell ammo. People can bring their own mags in, and they can use your loader as long as they do it with ammo they bought there, and they can load all their mags, so they don't have to sit at home and load their mags.
Interesting.
Convenience. It's a convenience store concept.
The convenience. That's right.
Have you seen the wooden ones you can make with a router?
Yeah.
It's a lot more cost effective, but that would be kind of
Not
cool.
for me.
Or offer service.
Not if you include the ER visits.
The splinters.
Tom and Power Tools, not a good combo.
So the router will go right through the palm of your hand. Okay, good to know. Okay, but anyway, just a thought, hey, buy your ammo here, bring your mags in, just load them. Good to go. That would be a reason for people to come buy ammo from you.
Or charge them to
and
load
you
them.
could sell them more mags.
Right. Even better.
Yeah.
Okay.
What they're going to find is if you bring in your 3 mags, you're going, yeah, but I got all this extra ammo. I need to just go ahead and put it in mags now. Not a problem. We have mags over here.
What a shame. We happen to have a rack on sale right next to them.
Right. And oh my goodness, we carry those MTM mag cans.
Yes,
we can get you as many as you need.
We can fix you up.
That's
right.
right.
I'm liking
That's right.
this.
But honey, look at all the time and money I
on this.
saved.
Let us know how this works out. This is going to work. I think you're onto something there.
Right. All thanks to you, Tom.
You could sell preloaded
That's right.
mags.
Actually, I thought of that. So what you do is there are people who do that, and you can buy preloaded mags in the mail. It's weird.
Yep.
Yeah. But I think what would really be cool is if you could send the mags back and they would load them for you again. Now, how lazy are we that we won't load our own mags?
As they clean your gun and load your magazine.
Yeah, I'm going to dinner, so clean my gun and load these 40 mags, will you?
Oh, wait a minute. I'm married. Yeah, okay.
I was so not going to say that.
Nice.
When is the last time I cleaned my own gun?
Michelle.
I know how I do it.
You could just disassemble your Glock and put it in the upper rack of your dishwasher.
Oh, yeah.
Just run it.
I don't own one of them.
She's a god of no
Dishwasher.
wood.
You don't have a dishwasher?
She does not have a dishwasher.
No, she does. She does.
His name's
She's married.
Chad. Yeah.
Gun cleaner / dishwasher. I like this. You should actually market Chad. You can have your own Chad.
Oh, he's all mine.
Oh.
All righty.
He's all mine. I do share him. I share him with the public a lot.
You do.
Yeah, I know.
He's great service guy.
Good instructor, all of that.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
there you
Great
go.
gunsmith.
All right. Well, I'm going to go not clean a gun.
There you go.
So
Hey, let me join you.
It'll be true testing then.
you're going to offer to help out with that, are you?
Yeah,
I'll help you not clean that.
Yeah. You do there, and I'll do here. We'll both not be cleaning together. We
I like it.
Compare
That's
notes
right. It'll be
later.
a group effort. Right.
Hey, did you see
Worldwide.
that part I missed? Wasn't that great? FaceTime.
All right, guys, have a great week, and we will be doing this from Idaho next week, with any luck.
All right.
Great.
I hope it sounds
All right, take
great.
care.
Hope the connection's good.
One ringy ding.
Just saw what Lily Tomlin just popped in my head. Thank you.
All right, you guys be good.
Be good.
Bye, Tom. Well, that wraps up another Gun Talk After Show. But if you want even more gun-related stuff, don't forget to check out Gun Dealio. It's the app for Apple and Android phones that connects you to all the Gun Talk shows, plus even more. And we'll catch you next time for the Gun Talk After Show.